Hey everybody, this is Brian with Vermillion Enterprises. Today is May 30th, 2025, and it's Friday, so I thought we would answer some questions that people have been presenting to us, specifically in this last video that we did, where I went over, kind of what profits and margins look like for a brick and mortar dealer operating in 2025. We got a lot of questions. I even got a phone call yesterday about this new House bill that's making its way through Florida, House Bill 999, and people are wanting my take on it. All right, so this is basically, it amends Florida's law to establish gold and silver coins as legal tender for specific purposes, but it's not effective until July 1, 2026. So, what's my take on this? My take is let's wait and see. They just now are working on it. What the actual final version of this with the whatever established framework they have is a long ways off right now. So I don't really have much thoughts on it. I think it's largely let me back that up. I think in the dealer world, talking amongst ourselves, it seems like a lot of posturing on the governor's end, kind of in an attempt to attract more libertarian votes, which is fine. Hey, that's politicking at its best. I don't really get into politics that much. I'm more worried about what's in front of me. And so, and on that note, this House Bill 999 really isn't in front of us right now. We're still over a year away. There's no real groundwork of what it actually is going to mean for commerce in the state of Florida. And, so at this point, I don't really have any thoughts on it. I don't really care about it. It is what it is. We'll see what it comes down to, what their final version is, 14 months from now, or 13 months from now, basically, July 1, 2026. The only thing I would say about it is that maybe it will get younger folks interested in acquiring gold and silver for the potential use for commerce in the state. I don't know. That's something I could see maybe positive out of it. Other than that, I think it's kind of a big nothing burger at this point. So that's my take on it. I'm not really concerned or interested in it. It doesn't really pertain to business in May 30th, 2025. So it's just, we're in a holding pattern with it. We'll wait and see. I'm not, I'm not, shitting on it, but I'm not also exalting it either, because right now I think it's just, a bunch of posturing, and maybe something will come out of it. Maybe not. We'll all find out together 14 or 13 months from now. So there's a lot of other much more interesting and pressing things going on in the state and also in the country that I think is a lot more important. Mainly, one thing, guess what we're gearing up for is hurricane season here in Florida. So we're all going to start prepping our buildings again here pretty soon for that. So I got a lot of questions yesterday and the day before with regards to what's my opinion on House Bill 999. So, that is pretty much it. And so I wanted to address that and go from there. One thing also I want to talk about, there's a lot of people who tune into my channel and other YouTube channels that focus on precious metals. It's obviously a growing community online. Would you not say that's true, Tim?
It appears so.
Yeah, I think so. The one thing, and so therefore a lot of people have their own channels, right? And so there's the number of precious metals based YouTube or social media channels out there has probably, I would say, exploded over the last 2 years. Tim's probably more in tune with that than I am. Would you say that's true, Tim?
There's too many.
Is there too many?
There's too many.
Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting. But here's what I will caution people out there with their YouTube channels. Yesterday, and the reason why I'm putting this note out there, yesterday another YouTube channel slandered my business and has slandered others too. You have to realize when you're putting content out there, folks, you can be sued for what you are saying if it is false. All right, so just keep that in mind as you're creating content. Just understand, hey, make sure what you're putting out there is actual, is real, is true. That's why I pretty much focus just on what's going on here, and I don't talk about other events or what other shops or dealers are doing in the sense of specifics, because we want to focus on what we know is as facts. So if you're out there creating your own content, have fun with it. It can be a lot of fun. It can be a lot of work too. But just be careful. Don't slander folks, because in this country today, oh my God, everyone is so sue happy, and you can be putting yourself out there for a headache you do not want. I'll give you a great example of, there's a very prominent YouTuber that I've become friendly with, and he talks specifically about that in private conversations with me. He's so cautious when it comes to talking about other businesses, because he knows he can be sued for anything. I think he's actually talked about that on his channel. So just be careful if you're out there creating content not to be slandering other businesses. Make sure you're very cautious and selective in the wording that you use. All right. Any other big questions that have been asked about us on the YouTubes, Tim?
Just really the house bill.
The house bill is the big one. Here's one that a dealer posted, or not a dealer, but a commenter posted yesterday's videos when we're talking about margins and profitability. If you haven't seen our video yesterday, you may want to check it out. You might find it neat, might not. Big J says, dealers need a big margin to protect themselves from market volatility. Not really. Margins can be real tight. So, when we do big deals, we, let's say I do let's say a $250,000 deal with a customer. I verify everything with the customer right then and there. Say, okay, here's the deal. Are you selling it? Yes, I'm selling it. Once that's done, I'm on the phone with wherever I'm going to dump that material, locking it in at the same price. So I have many times on these larger deals have sold the deal before the customer even walks out the door. So no, we don't need bigger margins due to market volatility. If you're stacking, if as a dealer and you're stacking material in this market rather than turning and burning it, then yeah, maybe, but you don't need bigger margins to operate in this market. He goes on to say, my LCS told me the week before he bought over $500,000 in gold, and when he went to sell, the gold price dipped and he lost $6,000. That's why on those deals, like, you buy it, then boom, you sell it. It's that fast, and it has to be that fast. On a deal like that, I would have sold that deal before the customer even walked out the door, making my profit. On a deal like that, there's no sitting on it. It's got to just go immediately. And that's how we have to operate in 2025 with the volatility. So you make your lick, you get in, you get out real quick, and that is it. Make sure that the shop always has to eat. That's the reality of it. Yep. We're going to cut here for a second, folks, because I got a very much needed Starbucks delivery that just pulled into the parking lot. All right, and we're back with our Starbucks. So let's see, is there any other big questions? People ask all the time. We've been asked this dozens of times, like, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 times every week. What market do I use to look at spot prices and determine what we are buying and selling at? Often we use Kitco, looking at the Kitco bid, but not always, folks. So why is it not always? Because we're when we're specifically selling material, we have to use the same number of the establishment that we're going to replace it. Okay, like today, I already sold a tube of 1/10 ounce gold buffalo or 1/10 ounce gold eagles this morning. So I had to use the ticker price that the company that I replaced them with is going to use. So it was slightly different than Kitco, but not drastically. So often we use Kitco, especially for little deals, just back and forth across the counter, no problems there. But on larger things and some more unique things, we have to use the price that the outfit is using that we're going to replace the material from, or order it or sell it to. So we're more determined based on what they say the price of gold or silver is. But if you're coming in and out of the store and you're buying a tube of silver eagles, or you're buying a couple gold eagles or whatever, typically that's just going to go off of Kitco. So, but that's not a blanket statement. That's what I think confuses a lot of people when it comes to this industry, is people want absolutes and blanket statements. That just doesn't work. Everything is nuanced. And 80% of the time it may be one way, but the other 20% it's a different way, just because of the way the industry is shaped. Let's see here, Meeper 1148. I like that name, Meeper. I really appreciate your candor and honesty. Glad to hear you find ways to profit on extremely thin margins. There's only one way to profit on extremely thin margins. That is speed, folks. It's got to be bam, bam, bam. He goes on to say, well, don't assume gender, Tim. I don't know if Meeper is a he or a she. I wish I lived closer to your shop so I could frequent it. We appreciate that. Anyone who thinks you or your shops are ripping people off doesn't understand the markets and capitalism. Keep up the great work, and wishing you much success for many years in the future. I greatly appreciate that. And yeah, anybody that enters any enterprise has to understand that it is for profit. We're not UNICEF out here. There's only 2 kids I'm trying to feed. Let's see here. Jack Peterson says, thank you, helping everyone get a clear understanding of your business. I appreciate it. That's one thing that I try to focus on here in my shop, is transparency. So, that is the thing. Transparency. It's not always in a transaction, doesn't matter what it is. It's not always about what the price is. It's all just making sure that the deal is what it is. Like when I buy a vehicle, I go to the dealer, and last 2 I just bought online anyways, but I say, okay, I don't want to know what your price is for the car and then what this is and that is. I just want one number from you. Just tell me that one number. I don't want to hear a number and then it's like, okay, well then we got to do this and add this and then there's this dealer fee. It's like, I don't want any of that. I just want one number from you, and I will say yes or no. And that, I think, is what people really appreciate. And that's what I try to strike, because that's what I want. I don't want to know 13 different numbers. I want to know one number. So now I'll leave you with this one here. TZKB87 says, I will say what you offer for cashback is pretty good. I travel between a lot of shops in California and Nevada, and their offers are not as good as yours. You would think there is money there, since I go between LA and Las Vegas. Tons of money there. I used to operate out of Northern California for quite a bit. I made some killer bunk there, but that was a long time ago. If I had to sell back, I would come to you if you were local to me. So right now, I really am trying to keep my buyback prices as competitive and as thin as I can, because I understand that's the market that we're in right now. A lot more sellers than there are buyers. And I want to make sure that we're helping out the base on one. And also, too, that I'm getting as many of those sale deals as I possibly can, because I like the action. I want to stay busy here. So for TZKB, appreciate the comment, and Yeah. So you'll notice that my buybacks are as thin as I can get them and still keep the lights turned on because I want the action. And there's a lot more sellers right now than there are buyers, so that's what we're focusing on. And people are dumping on us every single day, and I appreciate that. And I want you to continue to do so. Remember, we are not undercapitalized. We are ready to go. So bring us that gold, bring us that silver, bring us that platinum. We are ready to turn and burn. Here's the great thing about us. You come in, you do a deal with us. I'm going to pay you right then and there. You get a check from me, you go slam that check. All right, you don't have to wait on that. I'm not going to issue you a check 2, 4, 6, 8 weeks later. If I'm buying it, I'm going to hand you payment right then and there, and that is your money to go do with what you want right then and there. All right, so I will never write a check that can't be slammed. All right, so you guys and gals keep that in mind. If there's anything we can do for you, please come on into the shop. We'll be happy to help. Anything else you want to talk about, Tim?
Sounds like you got everything.
All right, you guys have a great weekend. We'll probably see you Monday. Have a good one.